Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Myth Busting. This one is known as New Mobs, Old Myths, and this is a recurring theme in the series which has over 100 episodes now. If you've watched some of those old episodes, you'll recognise what is going on in front of us. This is where we take new mobs that have been added into the game in an update and run them through some classic tests to learn all sorts of things about them. In the update Aquatic we have turtles, drowns, the phantom, the dolphin, and 4 new types of ocean fish, and we're going to run them through all of the tests, starting off with these classic ones right here. Can they be hooked with a fishing rod? Can we attach leads to them? And then can they be renamed with a name tag? And specifically, we want to know if the dinner bone trick will work with these mobs. I have no idea if there's some unique new renamings that are specific to each of these mobs, but the dinner bone is the classic test. It gives the mob the name, it flips them upside down, which often looks rather hilarious. And on close inspection, I can indeed confirm that all of the fish have been flipped upside down as well. So this trick works on all the new mobs. There is only one new mob that can be leashed. To my surprise, I was actually expecting at least 2 of these. Now, hostile mobs usually can't be leashed, so these 2 are no surprise at all. The turtle cannot be leashed. This one doesn't like that. And none of the little fishies can be leashed either, which is not really surprising. The mob that can be leashed is the dolphin, and if I fly across this way, I can bring it across that way. And so you can manipulate where it's going to go in water using the lead. When it comes to the fishing rod, all of them can be hooked in and moved around. Whenever that will be useful, I don't know. The first thing I want to show you is that you can hook the phantom. Now this phantom here actually has no AI, but due to a bug you can actually move it around, which is something that should be fixed. This drowned and the turtle also have no AI. You can see the fishing rod attaches to them, but they can't be moved. So obviously what we need to do is put in a normal one. You can see the turtle can be moved around with the fishing rod. So maybe this is an alternative to using the lead, and the same thing can be done on the drowned. And the same thing can be done for all of the fishies and the dolphin at the back here as well. The next test is a favourite of mine, usually because it has some pretty hilarious results. And it may be a little bit tricky to test as we've got a flying mob. We've also got mobs that reside in water. The test is the jump potion effect, finding out which mobs it works on. If we summon in some drowns, we're going to see they've got the fart bubbles of the potion effect for jumping. And they're making a right racket, but none of them are jumping up into the sky. Now for comparison, let's see what happens when we do this with the rabbit, which uses jumping in its AI. When the rabbits start to jump, they jump really high, which is always rather amusing. The turtles, they do move slow, but when they jump, it's literally 1 block at a time to go up a ledge. So it looks like the jumping effect isn't going to work on these guys. Welcome, my friends, to a hideous racket, the part in this episode that I thought was going to be the most boring. But it turns out that the jump boost effect seems to stop the phantoms from flying upwards. With so many of them in the middle there, it seems some of them have been pushed outwards onto the next block. But look at this. This one here is clearly attempting to fly upwards, and the jump boost seems to somehow be stopping it. It's a really bizarre result. Let's get a few more in here. I have had to destroy my own frames to do this, and even with lots at the next layer, they're still not getting pushed out to the one above. I even think some of the phantoms have been dying from entity cramming as well. So that was a very unexpected result, wasn't it? Now we are in and amongst the fishes, but what you'll see is that they will swim away from either player. We have converted our testing area into an aquarium, and wherever I stand in a corner, the fishes make their way to the opposite corner, it seems. Now I've been watching them swim around, bob up to the surface, jump in and out of the water a little bit like they normally do, but nothing out of the ordinary. It seems like the jumping potion effect has no effect on them. Nothing out of the ordinary for the dolphins. However, since I've given them some diamonds, they've been jumping out of the water a little less frequently. Now that was a lot higher than anything I'd seen before. And I've seen dolphins jump probably that high in survival as well. I think what we might need to do is amplify the effect to really know. Wow, 4 of them at once. I'd say they're jumping at the same height. I've given them an absurdly high level of jump boost, but they're pretty much jumping the same as they would do in survival. If I told you that I was going to strike these cute and adorable dolphins with lightning, You might have not tuned into this episode, but in the name of science, we need to find out if Mojang has hidden any Easter eggs. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that in a moment. And it would look like there are no Easter eggs with the dolphins. If they get struck by lightning, they basically have a bad time. Okay, and now for the fishies. Getting struck by lightning. Nothing out of the ordinary going on here either. And so you know what I'm talking about when I say Easter eggs. That's right, villagers struck by lightning turn into witches. I can confirm that there is nothing special for the drowns. Let's strike them with lightning. Nothing out of the ordinary, they're just burning to death. The most important question of all. Do they turn into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? The answer is they do something even better. When struck by lightning, they die, but they will also, by chance, drop a bowl. Yeah, that's right. That's what you wanted in Minecraft. Turtles being struck by lightning, so you can get your hands on a bowl. I mean, that's a real thing. And now it's the Phantom's turn. And nothing. Literally nothing. Next up, we want to find out who the Iron Golem gets along with. Seems like he gets along with the turtle. They've been doing just fine in there. Let's spawn in a drowned, which seems to be relatively peaceful until the Iron Golem comes along and wrecks it. And then let's bring in a Phantom, which is also not targeting the Iron Golem. But after a moment, the Golem will notice it, and it goes ham and kills the Phantom. Well, it looks like everyone's getting along. But wait a minute, why is the dolphin playing with the remains of the pufferfish? Turns out that the pufferfish was a little bit scared of the Iron Golem and poisoned it. But if I put it over in that corner, you'll see first of all, the Iron Golem doesn't do anything. And now they've come into contact and the Iron Golem responds. Our next set of tests is which mobs can get into boats. And I've made it nighttime so that our drowned and our Phantom don't burn up. I was a little surprised. It was a little bit tricky, but it is possible for a Phantom to ride in a boat. And if you've been watching the Hermitcraft series, you'd already know that turtles can ride in the boat as well. As you can see, a couple of the dolphins are going a bit mental here, swimming very, very fast. But I've spent a lot of time trying to get them into these boats, and it just doesn't seem to be possible. I've even been spawning them like this, directly on or under the boats. I've been spawning them above them. I've been moving around the boats as I'm spawning the dolphins, just trying to get them as close as possible as I can to these boats, and nothing seems to have happened. The same seems to be so of the smaller fish as well, which isn't too surprising. It would be really strange for such a small creature to get in a boat. Now please bear in mind that I am not knocking the wiki. This is a great source of information, but you have to take everything you read on here with a pinch of salt. If we search for boat on 2 separate occasions, it says that dolphins can indeed be transported in boats. And on the second time it mentions it, it specifically says only on Java Edition, which doesn't seem to be so. So in this instance, it turns out that the wiki is incorrect. There is also a bug report about dolphins sitting in boats, and at the very bottom here it says turtles are working as intended, but fixed issue with dolphins, so they will no longer sit in boats. So there you go, confirmed from one of the Minecraft devs. Next up, we're going to answer some questions from last episode's comments section, which are related directly to the new mobs. As always, you can comment down below with a question. Now, if you didn't know that Guardians attack squid, you now know, because I'm going to summon in a Guardian and a squid, and straight away the Guardian has targeted the squid. But of course, in the oceans, there are now even more creatures. So what we're going to do is summon in a few extra Guardians, and we're going to put some of the other new mobs in here. So first of all, we're going to start off with the dolphin. So with quite a few dolphins in there going near the Guardians, I think it's fair to say that the Guardians won't attack them. And we've got a whole bunch of turtles in there as well, and they're all getting along together just fine. And I think now we can say that all of the new creatures that live in the sea get along with the Guardians. There are tons of Guardians in there, and there are tons of fishies as well, and none of them are getting killed. This next question relates specifically to the Phantom. Can the Phantom be drowned? Well, I thought we'd do a 2-in-1 here, and just see if the Guardians attack them as well. So now we have a whole bunch of Phantoms. The Guardians seem to be fine with their presence. And interestingly, the phantoms can't swim up and down in the water. Quite often in this game do we come across a question that I think is a little bit pointless, like, do phantoms drown? Of course they do, but then you go and test it and you find out something you didn't expect. Not only do they not drown, we've been in here for over 2 minutes, they also can't swim upwards or downwards, which is very peculiar, and it probably doesn't have much of a use, but it's interesting to know. By the way, the person who asked this question also left a note saying Stingray for fish tanks, and I think they're right. Unfortunately, there is the visual glitch with the wings, but this is basically a stingray once you get a phantom in water. And now the phantoms swim upwards, and that is terrifying. It just occurred to me that, of course, I've seen phantoms swimming up and down in water in survival mode, and that's because they weren't tracking a player, that they were just going left and right and not really doing too much. And I just want to say that is kind of hilarious, this site here. No, I didn't totally forget about that other mob that we're testing, and just so you know, Guardians don't attack the drowned. So I have 2 questions, which I'm going to answer with 3 phases of testing here. That sounds very confusing, but trust me, we're going to learn a lot. What I'm going to do in a moment is stand inside of this cage. I'm going to put a dolphin in front of me, go into survival mode, and the skeleton will try and shoot me. And when it does that, it is going to attack the dolphin by mistake. And then what the dolphin will do is attack the skeleton. But the dolphin has a similar behavior to zombie pigmen. So I'm now in survival, and if I attack one of these dolphins, the group will turn against me. As you can see, a few of them are coming in for the kill. And apparently they will even jump on the land to try and attack me as well. This is kind of crazy right here. Alright, so I'm getting attacked. Let's put a dolphin in the way. And the dolphin has now been attacked, and you can see that other dolphins are now attacking the skeletons. Amazing. Now, in my initial experiment, I learned 2 other things, because the first thing I decided to spawn was a snow golem, and this golem obviously fires snowballs, which can anger the dolphins. So now, the snowballs attack the dolphin twice, and the other dolphins in the area come after the golem. And now they've got the golem in the water. Looks like he's trying to give him a kiss. Jeez. It's taken some tedious testing, but the same question has now been asked of the phantom. Is it going to attack a skeleton that's attacked it, and subsequently the snow golem as well? I made sure with some tricky testing that I saw both the skeleton and the snow golem attack a phantom, and never did the phantoms then go and attack either of those mobs. They would only ever go after the player if I were in survival, and when I was in creative mode, they would simply take the damage and ignore it. So my friends, that's where we're going to wrap up our testing of these new mobs. If you've enjoyed the episode, then leave a like. If you have a question burning in your mind, ask it with a comment down below. And of course, if you want to know more about this game, check out the Minecraft Myth-Busting playlist for loads of fascinating information about the game. But anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.